Thanks for joining all my obedient family and good citizens of Nigeria. Today I want to be telling you the issue that will be surfacing in the ADC and why P2B will not be running the 2027 general election with the ADC. This is not about speculation, but rather this is fact. So I want you to sit down, watch this video to the end so that you will understand what is happening in the political space and understand how P2B is going to skate through this 2027. For all the obedient movement who believe that P2B will be skating through this 2027, you have to sit tight and don't forget to share this video to your friends and loved ones so that they can be aware of what is happening and the plot that the ADC are using to make sure that P2B will not win. But unfortunately, we see this on time and P2B in one way or the other will be scaling through which will give him a clear victory in 2027. So sit tight and watch this video to the end and don't forget to share and like this video. And also do us a favor by clicking on your subscribe button and don't forget to on the notification bell. Thank you.
Costly mistakes the ADC coalition is making right now, and if these mistakes are not addressed, they may cost them the 2027 elections. And here are the mistakes. Number 1. Not agreeing on key areas before announcing the coalition. Perhaps this appears to be the funniest and at the same time the most costly of them all. When the coalition was announced, our thinking was that everything had been properly settled behind closed doors. We felt that the positions, zoning, power-sharing arrangements, and other sensitive issues had been carefully discussed and properly agreed on by all parties involved. In fact, many supporters and observers assumed that these talks must have taken months of negotiation, dialogue, and careful planning. However, this later appears not to be the case. It is now being gathered that even right now, they still have not agreed on some key issues. That is shocking, and honestly, it does not present the coalition in a good light. It makes them look unprepared, unserious, and disorganized. Any political group that hopes to present itself as an alternative government should be structured, disciplined, and united from the inside before facing the public. That sounds ridiculous and not good at all. They were not supposed to announce the coalition without first agreeing among themselves on issues of power, positions, leadership structure, and decision-making authority. You do not bring people together publicly before you discuss such important matters internally. Instead, those issues should have been sorted out, agreed upon, signed, sealed, and settled before the announcement. This particular action is one of the main reasons the coalition appears not to have gained any serious momentum. Some key members do not seem fully committed because they themselves are not even sure of where they stand, what roles they will play, or what the long-term vision of the coalition actually is. When there is no clarity inside, it will surely show outside. If they truly want to be taken seriously by Nigerians, this is the very first issue they must urgently resolve.
Please do us a favor by clicking on your subscribe button and don't forget to like and share this video. Thank you.
Because a house that is divided against itself cannot stand. Number 2. Making the coalition appear as if it is Atiku's coalition. In politics, optics is very important. It shapes perception, and perception often becomes reality in the mind of the public. Right now, there are actions already taken by the leadership of the ADC that give any outsider valid reasons to believe that the coalition is being formed primarily for Atiku Abubakar. One of such actions is the use of Atiku's former campaign office as the ADC coalition's office. This was the same office Atiku used both in the 2019 and 2023 campaign seasons. That alone sends a strong message, and the message it sends is not neutrality. The optics of that decision are completely wrong for a coalition that is supposed to be open, neutral, and accepting of all potential aspirants. Yes, I had the explanation that it was only used by Atiku for campaigns and that the ADC simply rented it because it was available and suitable. But in politics, perception is stronger than explanation. To avoid any suspicion and to make every group and individual in the coalition feel comfortable, they should have rented an entirely different building, one that carried no political history attached to any particular individual. If I am a serious presidential candidate and I see that kind of arrangement, I will be very skeptical. I will begin to wonder if the coalition is genuinely for everyone or if it already has a preferred candidate behind the scenes. The second thing is Atiku hosting all the state chairmen of the party in his personal space. Again, the optics of that action do not speak well for a coalition that wants to be seen as neutral and inclusive. Some people have asked me if I know what they discussed at that meeting. The truth is, they may not have discussed anything illegal or harmful to anyone. But once again, optics is what matters here. By hosting the entire state chairman in your personal residence, what message are you sending to other presidential aspirants who may be observing from afar? Even if there was no hidden agenda, the act alone raises questions. If I am a presidential candidate seeing that, I will be very skeptical. I will start asking myself if the playing field is truly level or already tilted in favor of one person. And that kind of doubt can discourage others from joining the coalition or taking it seriously. Number 3, making the removal of Tinubu a priority. This is another major mistake they are making, and it is a very dangerous one. The aim should not just be about removing Tinubu, but about replacing Tinubu with a far better candidate and a far better system of leadership. There is a big difference between opposition for the sake of opposition and opposition for the genuine sake of national transformation. The focus should be on the quality, character, competence, and vision of the person that will replace Tinubu, not just on getting Tinubu out of office. When you listen to some of the key advocates of this coalition, all they seem to care about is how to remove Tinubu, regardless of who replaces him. That kind of thinking is risky and short-sighted. Truth is, Nigerians are becoming more politically aware. They will not easily buy into that kind of vague and emotional campaign again. It has happened before. People voted for change in 2015 and again in 2023, and many of them now feel disappointed in the outcome. They don't want a repeat of that experience. So instead of making the slogan, "Remove Tinubu," the coalition should be making the message, "Here is a better leader, here is a better future, here is a better plan for Nigeria." The emphasis should be on solutions, not just on removal. If they fail to realize this, they will lose the trust of a large number of Nigerians who are tired of recycled political drama and empty promises. In all, the ADC can still make amends and remain on the path to possible victory. But if they continue in this same direction, ignoring these mistakes and brushing aside public concerns, then their chances may continue to weaken. In the end, only God and time can truly tell what will become of the coalition and its political future.
We've just witnessed the unveiling. If you have any question or clarification, please go ahead and ask.
Okay. Yeah. I have two questions for you. One is, by our findings, we know that this place used to be Atiku's presidential campaign office. So, how come you are using this as the national secretariat of the ADC? Considering the fact that there have insinuation that the presidential tickets have already been considered to Atiku. That's one. I'll ask you to let the last question.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a very good question. It's true, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar used to be the tenant of this building, right? He used to be the tenant of this building, which he used for his presidential campaign. But his tenancy has lapsed. Now the African Democratic Congress is the tenant of this building. Do I need to repeat that? So this building at no time did it belong to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. He leased it for the purpose of his campaign, and that lease has ceased, and now the tenancy is occupied by the African Democratic Congress.
All right, welcome back, my active citizen. You see, this is quite truth and honest in all this ADC coalition. And among every point that he mentioned, I will start dissecting it one after the other. First thing first, the building used in the ADC unveiling. That is number one error. In all honesty, it is really an error. They should have not using that particular building. They should have rented any other building just to unveil, because one, the mindset of the people is that this thing is Atiku game. And if you watch most of their key spokesmen, they are always emphasizing about Atiku and how he's good and generous. That's number one point. Then number 2 point is Atiku calling all the whole state chairmen together. That is also another good point, because it seems to me that Atiku is running faster than his shadow by first thing first arranging all the state chairmen to come to his own personal residence, which is not a good move, neither for the ADC and for the Atiku, especially now that we know that this whole thing is zoning, this whole political thing is zoning, and if there should be any fair ground for any other person to play, and knowing the way Atiku normally does his primary, then it means that any other person or any other aspirant who intend running under ADC is likely going to withdraw himself, because somehow, even if it is not, the speculation has been there, and you cannot dispute or disagree with the thought of every man's heart, especially when that person is being convinced within him that this is what it is and this is what not it is. That is the little fact that you have to understand, because ADC have already spoiled this whole thing by one article calling everybody together, all the whole state chairman. And number 3 is that they are making the whole coalition to be personal, to look like the only sole mission is to remove President Tinubu and not to bring any other leadership. They make this whole ADC coalition to look like their sole aim and mission is to remove President Tinubu, not to replace him with any other sustainable leader who will make change. And I keep saying this, that many people who come for this ADC are people with grievances because they didn't get what they should have. Maybe from this present government, maybe they feel like they are being betrayed. So with bitterness, they came together to form this coalition without any clearer vision on how to bring somebody who will move Nigeria forward, rather than removing this so particular person, of which that was what they did to President Jonathan by trying to bring President Buhari, saying that all about change, they want to change the government, and the slogan there was change. So now that's the same thing they are doing this time around, without having a clearer vision on who to replace and who to build the country. They are just, because it's not all about removing the president. It's not all about removing President Bola Tinubu. If you remove President Bola Tinubu and still put another person who President Bola Tinubu is more better than, then it will be very, very annoying. You see, it will be very, very bad after the 2027 that Tinubu later leave the office, and maybe in one of these days when he's in France or any other places, then he's now laughing at Nigeria. That I think that people will say that I'm the cause or the problem of the country. It will be very, very bad. So if any political party are trying to build or organize anybody to stand for this 2027 election, let that person be more competent and be able to work for the people of Nigeria, so that we know where we are heading on this 2027. So do well to share this video to your friends and loved ones, and don't forget to comment your opinion and subscribe. Thank you and God bless.